Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. Happy Friday. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping our newscast, Governor Kenneth Mapp went on air Tuesday on AM 1000's Morning Mix to tackle various issues, as we have reported, including a discussion of the Hovenza sales process. The governor also discussed the current investigation on some inconsistencies in Diageo's record keeping that could have misrepresented what the company is importing into the territory. News 2's April Knight has that story.
Governor Kenneth Mapp spoke out this week on the investigation into Diageo's importation of rum.
We did confirm that Diageo is importing into the territory what appears to be some offshoot of rum from some foreign source. Let me put it that way.
Earlier this month, lawmakers called for an aggressive probe into what they said could be a breach of contract by Diageo. This all stemmed from inconsistent information in Diageo's documents, one of which said some of their tanks contained molasses and another stating they contained rum. Diageo offered some explanation. They said it's actually sugarcane distillate for a new distilling process they're trying out. Governor Mapp said he sees nothing in the government's contract with Diageo that says the VI government should be subsidizing the import of foreign rum to mix with rum made on St. Croix. According to the governor, contrary to Diageo's statement, he was not informed of this practice at all.
Diageo did not advise me, nor did it seek my permission to bring in any deviation of foreign rum into the Virgin Islands and then attempt to mix it and call it Crucian, some deviation of a natural rum of the Virgin Islands, and sell it under some label.
The matter is still currently under investigation by the appropriate authorities, according to the governor. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
The Department of Justice and the Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs are collaborating on that investigation. Count on two to keep you updated. Governor Kenneth Mapp, chairman of the Virgin Islands Public Finance Authority Board of Directors, along with a unanimous vote from the board members, adopted a resolution authorizing the VI Public Finance Authority to issue not more than $102 million of Garvey bonds for the funding of major road and highway construction projects throughout the territory. He said they anticipate closing this bond transaction on December 8th, 2015, and fund a project account with approximately $91 million. And this means that beginning early 2016, they will begin major road construction projects. $51 million of this sum is slated for St. Croix, he said. Senator Nellie O'Reilly sponsored that bill. The bonds are backed by a federal highway grant. Also, the governor reviewed the applications of 3 companies seeking economic development benefits this week. In a decision handed down on Tuesday, November 24th, the governor approved tax benefits to Spectrum Engineering, Inc. However, on Wednesday, November 25th, the governor denied benefits to Leeward Capital Corporation and Perpetual Motion Management, LLC. He said in reviewing the applications, it was clear that both applications do not adequately meet the appropriate ratio of investment in our economy for an award of tax holidays as outlined in the vision and purpose of our tax incentive program. Virgin Islands Port Authority Executive Director Carlton Dow announced last week that effective immediately, the authority has discontinued the practice of honoring expired parking passes. The expired passes had been issued over the years to over 100 individuals, he said, who were once Port Authority board members, employees, government officials, and other private citizens. Dow said these individuals will now be required to pay to park at all of the Port Authority's paid parking lots at the agency's seaports and airports territory-wide. Dow added that VIPA's parking lot attendants and supervisors have been given strict instructions to adhere to the authority's parking lot policies. The Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority announces an electrical service interruption for a portion of St. Thomas Feeder 7D from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. on Saturday, November 28th. Customers from the Eastern Cemetery to Sapphire Hotel will be affected while crews work in the Linquist Beach area to repair conductors on the sub-transmission line. These repairs will restore the transmission and distribution system to its maximum stability and ensure enhanced reliability to customers on the eastern end of St. Thomas and the entire island of St. John. Motorists are asked to proceed cautiously. They say every effort will be made to restore service as quickly as possible. Also, a brief electrical service interruption is scheduled for downtown Christiansted, St. Croix, on Saturday, November 28th, from 5 a.m. to 5:30. Now, during that time, WAPA and Fortress Electric crews, 5:30 a.m., they will be installing a new underground electrical system for St. Mary's Catholic School as part of the school's hazard mitigation project. There will be no vehicular traffic interruption as a result of the work being conducted, and the authority apologizes for any inconvenience. Coast Guard rescue crews are searching the Atlantic Ocean from Thursday for a missing crew member suspected of having gone overboard from the 252-foot Chilean flagged cargo vessel Burke N during the vessel's transit north of Puerto Rico. Missing is Luis Aliaga, 62, a Chilean national and first engineer aboard the ship, after he did not report to his scheduled watch at 4 a.m. Thursday, and the crew was unable to locate him on board. Aliaga reportedly was last seen in the ship's galley at 11 p.m. Wednesday. Coast Guard received the message at 5:20 a.m. and began that search. Turn our attention back at home at roughly 7 a.m. on Wednesday, November 25th, officers received notification from the Schneider Hospital on St. Thomas of a gunshot victim seeking treatment. Officers met with the victim, a 34-year-old male, who proved to be uncooperative, according to police. In explaining the circumstances surrounding the shooting, police believe that the individual may have been involved in another incident that occurred in the Tutu high-rise housing community earlier that morning, where the discharge of gunfire was reported. The gunshot victim sustained a gunshot wound to the buttocks. Anyone with information concerning this incident may phone the Major Crimes Unit at 642-8449-911 or Crime Stoppers. And turn our attention overseas. Demonstrators are demanding for the resignation of the police commissioner, Gary McCarthy, and for a federal investigation into his department. Some protesters were chanting 16 shots, 16 shots, which was the number of times McDonald was shot by Officer Jason Van Dyke. Van Dyke has been charged with first-degree murder. Video released this week shows the moment McDonald was shot on a city street last year. Reverend Jesse Jackson, who's president of the Chicago-based Rainbow Push Coalition, wrote on his website that city officials sat on the tape for more than a year, buried the killing of an unending investigation, gave the officer a pass, and got through the elections. Here's more.
We're all out here, and that's what I want to look at. We're all out here. We're all angry. We're all mad. People may have different approaches, and that's okay. But we're all out here because we're mad about one thing, the killing of Taquan. And that's what we got to be out here and complain about. That's what we got to stand together on. So there may be some differences, but we're all out here in this street shutting down Michigan Avenue, telling people don't shop, and telling people Chicago's mad. We're angry.
Meanwhile, at least 6 people were taken to hospitals in Colorado Springs after a shooting near a Planned Parenthood. Officers were still encountering gunfire as of 5 p.m. this afternoon. Police said the suspect had not been apprehended. So far, 3 officers are injured. Meanwhile, keeping an eye on the economy, let's take a look at the New York Stock Exchange with our Stock Market Watch. According to the numbers there, the Dow down 14, NASDAQ and S&P up, NASDAQ 11, S&P 500 up 1. Coming up on News 2, we have much more straight ahead. 'Tis the season. What's happening for the Christmas shopping this season? We take a look. Welcome back. You just saw a video there of the Somigrat, a yacht carrier, which shifted its operations of launching yachts to Waco due to space at Crown Bay earlier today. 'Tis the season. Many enjoyed the day after Thanksgiving. Hope you had a great one. Governor Kenneth Mapp granted administrative leave to non-essential employees today. The leave granted did not apply to essential employees and employees on a regular or rotating shift of the executive branch. Many Americans across the country are scrambling to their nearest retailer to find the best possible deals on this Black Friday. But is this National Day of Shopping as important as it once was? We take a look at what's happening across America and right here on our shores. News2 April Knight has more.
The day after Thanksgiving marks the beginning of the Christmas holidays for many. And what better way to start off the holidays than by doing some serious shopping during the biggest shopping event of the year? In the mainland, it's a mad dash to the stores. Shoppers wait right outside the gates for doorbuster deals, including this family that camped out right outside the store.
We have a good time out here. Ben and I spend a few days together, and sometimes my daughter comes out and we bring friends and neighbors and we have fun.
And once inside the store, it's pandemonium. In the territory, things aren't quite as chaotic. This was the scene this morning at Sunny Isle Mall. The parking lot was packed, but inside the mall, you won't find the frenzied buying you'd expect. There was a similar atmosphere at this Kmart on St. Croix. But in 2014, the National Retail Federation stated that foot traffic as well as total sales went down compared to the numbers in 2013. But just because shoppers don't seem to be as focused on Black Friday anymore, experts say that's no reason for retailers to worry, only that shopping patterns have shifted. Instead of lining up at traditional department stores, many shoppers are choosing to go online and looking for specialty items. Amazon, for instance, has seen its stock double over the past year. Many shoppers choosing the comfort and convenience of buying their holiday gifts from home. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
We'll have more on holiday shopping next week as Cyber Monday kicks off the first week of December. It is carnival time on the Big Island. Mass for the seniors will be held during the Herbert Grigg Home for the Aged. Seniors will be able to recall the old-time carnival days with the carnival parade planned at the home. There will be music, mini troops, and more, all beginning at 2 p.m. Also, the third annual Carnival Meets Runway was held recently, and the idea is to showcase the main presentation of carnival troops and costume design in a few short hours, and then judging by cheers as they strutted their stuff on the runway to the sounds of Caribbean soca music. It was also a time to get a glimpse of what's to come from the troops. Aside from the glitz, the Carnival Meets the Runway showcase also represented the official launch of Carnival, and you'll be seeing more of those costumes at the Herbert Grigg Carnival event. And we have Crucian Royal contestants to announce on December 13th at Island Center. Competing for Duchess are Kayla Ville, Karis Jordan, Nivea McDonald. For Princess, Mikaija Williams, Clichelle Gaskin, and for Prince, Javier Edwards and Kanif Wati. So best of luck to the contestants. We'll hear more from them as we get closer to those dates. Now then on December 20th, 3 compete for the Miss St. Croix pageant. Kiosha Quinn, Isabella Sylvester, Khalifa Antoine. And those are the 3 contestants. Now Miss St. Croix 2014-2015, Anuma Davis Kaina will hand over that crown to the winner. Meanwhile, here are some more major Crucian Carnival events. The Prince and Princess Show is slated for December 13th, 3 p.m. at the Island Center. The St. Croix Carnival Queen competition we just mentioned will be held on December 20th, also at Island Center, and that begins at 5 p.m. The main village in Frederiksted opens December 26th at 7 p.m. and it will remain open until January 3rd. The Soca Monarch competition finals will be held at the village on December 29th at 8 p.m. The following day, Juve starts bright and early at 5:30 in the morning from Hannah's Rest Corner. The Food, Arts, and Crafts Fair, that starts at 12 noon the same day at McBean Clowertalk. Then the Calypso Monarch competition starts at 8 p.m. at Island Center. The Children's Parade will kick off the new year, January 1st, 10 a.m. in Frederiksted. And of course, the Adults Parade wraps up the celebration on January 2nd, 10 a.m. also in Frederiksted. We'll keep you updated on Crucian Christmas Carnival events as we get closer to the celebrations. The VIPD says that vendor permit applications for the Crucian Christmas Carnival will be available for pickup as of December 1st. These vendor permits are for use during the Children's Parade and the Adults Parade. Permits are needed for those serving food, stuffed items, and alcoholic beverages. Anyone providing consumables must have a valid Virgin Islands health card, and those operating any mobile service must possess a certified mobile vendor license. Sign up from Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Cuthbert Chapman Police Substation located at the Customs House Street in Frederiksted. Many gave back and held Thanksgiving luncheons, such as the Smith Bay Community Action Foundation on Wednesday at the Lionel Smut Richards Ballpark in Smith Bay. And the Smith Bay community guests were served at tables like restaurants. And Senators Blyden and Harrigan, they lended a hand. They say over 300 plus people were fed. Major sponsors included Cost You Less and 107.3. And many other contributions were made by Kappa, Colomax, and much, much more. Well, here's a quick note to mark on your calendar. Attention, veterans of the VI, the Vietnam War as well. There is a documentary showing on December 1st to the 3rd. The Virgin Islands community will have the opportunity to view that documentary on the service of Virgin Islanders who served in the Vietnam War. It'll be held at the American Legion District 10. They're presenting Proudly We Served Virgin Islands Veterans of the Vietnam War. The local documentary is a compilation of 25 interviews conducted in order to preserve the history of the territory and honor the military service of Virgin Islanders who served during this overseas conflicts. Veterans and residents are invited for the viewing, and here are the dates and time. It all starts at 2 p.m. at any of the following sites. On St. Croix, it's Tuesday, December 1st at the Lieutenant Colonel Lionel Readiness Jackson Center on the Estate Bethlehem. On St. Thomas, Wednesday, December 2nd at the Sergeant First Class Leonard B. Francis Readiness Center in Estate Nazareth. And then on Thursday, December 3rd at the Westin St. John Resort. Be sure to stick around. Your News to AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.